Let's not sugarcoat anything. Being a footballer is a very tiring job, both mentally and physically. So when you finish all 38 games in the league, you'd definitely be looking forward to that 2-month vacation provided there wasn't a major international tournament. But what if FIFA just went, rest? What's that? And bang, we have the FIFA Club World Cup. I remember this being all the best teams from each of the 6 regions and playing it out for a trophy that's always dominated by Europe and maybe South America. But this year, it's been 10x to include group stages for the best teams in each continent for the past few years. I'll be 100% honest right now, I only watched the Man City games for this tournament, which turned out to be a huge mistake as most of the matches had something crazy happen in it. So here are my favorite and most memorable moments from the entire Club World Cup. Like, subscribe, and comment your favorite moment. I don't know about you guys, but I think that these players should have been resting and preparing for preseason instead of playing in weather where the temperatures are in the 30s, and because of this, you have a bunch of injuries that weren't supposed to happen, proving costly. Take Jamal Musiala here as an example, as he's out for around 5 months. I think he broke something in his leg. I don't know what exactly it is. Not saying Gianluigi Donnarumma was wrong for simply going for the ball, but this was 100% preventable. Besides the players, this can also have an impact on the fans as there was never a full house in the matches. Why? Because these games happen around 3 p.m. Eastern time when the majority of people are at work. It's not like the weekend where families can go and add to the attendance tally. And with events like these, it's kinda all or nothing. If these matches happen and get only a couple thousand, then you know it's better if it didn't happen at all. I mean, the attendance can either make or break the tournament. So going into the future versions of this competition, people will maybe still not take it as seriously as FIFA expected. Then again, even just participating grants each team from around 3 to 38 million US dollars depending on your stature, meaning the smallest team gets the 3 million and vice versa. An example would be the only team from Oceania, Auckland City, more on them later, pocketed 3 million for getting slapped about in the group stages, and ordinary part-time footballers earn themselves an extra 150k, so bang, you got yourself a year's salary or even more just from 1 month. South America had a generational run, going unbeaten for 9 consecutive match days until Boca Juniors got beaten by Bayern Munich 2-1. Now, if you're really obsessive compulsive, you tell me that a lot of these teams were minnows compared to themselves, but that's where I would say you're wrong. Drawing to some pretty notable European teams and at one point beating Champions League winners PSG. That's not for everybody. Despite its downsides, this tournament has provided the entire CONMEBOL region more of a name and is definitely a step closer to expanding to international fan bases, the European ones. It's not very common that I'll meet someone here in North America and if I ask them what their favorite football team is, they're gonna pick a team from South America unless they're South American. So maybe, just maybe, we can see a Brazilian or Argentinian team win the Club World Cup in the near future. Unpopular opinion, but I've always wanted to find out exactly what would happen if you just let 2 people scrap all the ref watches like it's ice hockey. We could have had this if it weren't for the 2 teams holding their fullbacks back. During Inter versus River Plate, Marcos Acuna provoked Denzel Dumfries after they had clashed, where Dumfries was allegedly mocking Acuna, saying Monterrey have qualified, another team in their group challenging for the next round. Dumfries challenged Acuna to a fight in the tunnel. It only didn't happen as everyone was holding Acuna down. This was a do or die game as the winner would advance into the round of 16. But come to think of it, this matchup would be the equivalent of a hydrogen bomb against a coughing baby. 6-2 against 5-8. We all know who'd win the matchup. Unless Acuna unleashes his inner Ilya Topuria, it's GG's for him. This ain't even the first time they threw hands, as we date all the way back to the 2022 World Cup, Argentina versus Netherlands. Talk about deja vu. Dumfries fouls Acuna to give away a pen, and when Argentina eventually beat Netherlands in a penalty shootout, their reactions made Dumfries crash out and try to fight the Argentine players and staff. I mean, if I was playing and my team had won the pen shootout given the situation, I'd probably do the exact same, but that may just be me. Was Dumfries' crash out justified? Would you have done the same thing in his position? What do you guys think? I want to cry. We were doing so well, and this is just an example of it doesn't matter how you start, but rather how you finish. If you really took a look, Man City had more shots, more possession, and overall more opportunities to take a convincing lead. They even had more than double the number of passes of Al Hilal, and I've seen a lot of people blame Ederson, and I'm saying that there is little to nothing he could have done, except maybe for this one, at least dive for the camera save. On the other end of the page, shout out to Al Hilal keeper Yassine Bono. He was making so many saves, he was probably MVP of that match. Why haven't City started Omar Marmoush though? He could play on the left, and Doku could play on the right maybe? He has so much more goal threat than Savio, surely that would make sense. Like, I know they also have lots of money, but in general, the skill gap between these two shouldn't indicate this result. 3-4 in extra time, I still can't believe it. Injuries or illnesses in this case sure do suck, huh? No Mbappe, and even no Endrick. But don't worry, Madridistas, because Gonzalo Garcia is here. He was the top scorer in the entire competition with 4 goals and an assist in 6 games. I did some research, and he is quite the frequent goal scorer, even before playing with the first team at the Club World Cup. 25 goals in 36 games in the Academy Leagues is actually really good. Like, those are some Erling Haaland numbers. I know they're 2 completely different leagues, but stick with me here, you know what I mean. He can play a variety of positions up top, and he is very clinical with his shooting. That's a proper number 9. Last season, he was either on the bench or not included in the first team, but now I'm sure that will change this season. He replaces Endrick 100% for me. Imagine being at a tournament with the world's best teams and you're the only amateur one. That would be Auckland City. But how can this be if the players don't get paid? Since this tournament consists of the best teams from the 6 regions recognized by FIFA, and there are no professional teams in the OFC, not that I know of anyways, so Auckland City being the best of the bunch, winning a bunch of the OFC Champions League, is basically the token Oceanic team in the tournament. As expected, they got railed every single game, but there were a bunch of factory workers and university students that got to experience the dream of playing on the big stage. Just thought this was a really cool story. And finally, the definition of main character. Donald Trump, after Chelsea beat PSG 3-0 in the Club World Cup final, he's just something else, man. I get presented like the trophy and stuff. This is the President of the United States, but you do not have to stay around for the trophy lift. You don't even own the club, although he very easily can. Has this guy actually started caring about football now? I mean, if so, the World Cup next year is gonna go crazy then. But look at Reece James asking if he was gonna leave, and Cole Palmer is just confused. Also, let's not look past the fact that he's just pocketed a medal for himself so shamelessly. It probably belonged to Noni Madueke, but he's already gone off to Arsenal, so just as well, I guess. And yeah, that is gonna do it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Tell me in the comments, what is your favorite moment from the new FIFA Club World Cup? Is there anything that I may have missed? Also, I almost forgot, but if we hit 200 subscribers by the beginning of September, I'll do a 2025-26 jersey giveaway of your choice. So if you haven't already, like, subscribe, and all that good stuff to never miss a video. I have many more videos planned since it is the summer break and I just got back from a 3-week vacation. So yeah, have a good day and peace.